Welcome everyone to episode 12 of my Python guide. Today I would like to do a bit of lists and show you guys a bit more about dictionaries. We'll mostly just talk about 2D because I've already spoken to you guys about 1D. So we'll do that. And I hope you guys enjoy and I hope you guys learn a lot from this. So without further ado, let's get into this. We'll move on to lists first. And what I want to say is that we got two types of data structures. We can have static or dynamic. So when we talk about lists, they can kind of be both, but in this episode we'll talk about them being dynamic. So static means we can't add to them, but dynamic means that you can add to them, and that's pretty much it. You can't append static, you can append dynamic. You get the gist of it. It's pretty simple and it's not too complex, but yeah. Okay, so let's start off with um let's say list list of list of winners. Cool. And let's make the square brackets because we're doing lists. And we're creating an empty list here. And then let's make a loop. Let's make a while loop. And we're going to make it so it never ends. And let's just add a couple inputs so that we can actually store stuff inside our square brackets. So let's say name, and then what else could we do? We can do an age, and boom. And then let's say we could probably do like score. So we can do score inputs, and we can do score. Since we're talking about list of winners, they must be winners of something. So we can do that. Let me get rid of that. Bang, bang. Make it a bit more nice. Okay, so now that we got our inputs, we can talk about how to implement our inputs with our list. And we're talking about 2D list, by the way. We're not talking about 1D because when we want to do, I'll show you guys. Wait. Okay, so let's make a variable called row, and we're gonna in this row we'll make another list, and inside this list we'll have all our variables, age and score. And what this basically does is that we got all three of our variables into this one list over here, and this is just a 1D list. And what we can then do is we can get should I space out? Nah, nah, we won't. Okay, so we do list of winners, and what we can now do is we can pretty much we can just do this. We don't even have to make anything because we already got our loop, so we can do dot append and we can just do row instead of going through each one every time. We can just make a variable with all of them and just append it, and that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all you need to know about appending. And then if you want to remove, I'll show you that in a second, but if you want to remove, you can just go like that and you can remove it, but we'll stick to append for now. And we can also, to actually not do this forever, we can ask the user exit equals inputs. I'm going to say exit yes / no, and we can then make a if statement where if let's say we'll get a bit complex here just because we don't want someone to say yes in lowercase and then it just printing something else because he said yes and like forgot to do a capital letter. So what we'll do is, using our knowledge from the other episodes, we can do exit.strip, So this will basically get rid of all the extra spaces that we don't need after. Then we can also do one more, and we'll put it all to lower just because it's easier. And then we'll finally make a quick index, and basically what this will do is whether the user will input, our program will only check the first character. So say they say yes, the program will make the whole thing lowercase, and it'll get rid of all the strips. But what it will do is it will only check for this character right here, the Y. And basically, if he says yes in full capital letters, that means it will just see it as a lowercase y. And then we can then go like this. I'm going to do y, and we can close the brackets and then complete our if statement. So let me actually complete this before I explain everything. We can break because we'll want to exit the while loop, and if it says no, it'll just carry on. We don't actually need to finish our sentence. And then after that, we can literally, actually, so we save space, we can do print, if I can type, print list of winners. And basically what this does is we make our empty list, we got our while loop, and we got our three different datas so that we want to get. And then we put the datas in this variable called row, and then we append our list of winners with row. And then so we don't infinitely go through this loop, we will give ourselves another variable, and we'll ask the user if he wants to exit or not. And then we'll put an if statement asking, basically making it easier for the computer to read, and so there's no logic errors in our algorithm. So pretty much this is the best it's gonna get. So we can say Cassian, and we can say 69, and we can say score. What do we want the score to be? 1000. Let's say no. So we carry on, but we'll say Corolla 69. If you guys can even see this way, 69, and then her score will be 500. And say we want to leave, we put yes, and boom, it'll print out our 2D list. So it's pretty nice. Okay, so moving on. So I was talking earlier about this append function here. Let me teach you guys how to append and remove stuff from our 2D lists. So let me go here and let me put menu, because we'll probably be in the menu when we do this, and we'll put input, and we'll put add or remove, and then that will ask us for the menu, and then we'll add an if statement. Let me zoom out real quick. So add this statement, and what we can do here is we can say if menu dot strip dot lower, and we'll check the first index again, so index 0, and say if it equals to a, we'll colon it. So we got here list of winners, and we got our if statement, and we got our datas, and then we got our row, and then we can append the row. Like I said before, this just adds this row here into the list of winners. That's what append basically does. But now if I wanted to remove something, so what we can do here is we can do, actually we won't do that, we'll do else, and because we did the if statement here, we can do the else here. We can do name we'll do name equals inputs, and we can do what do you want to remove. Okay, that is terrible, but okay, we'll keep it like that. So we'll ask the user what they want to remove, and then we'll carry on iterating through our list. So you see how we've done the else statement here, and we've asked the user what they want to remove. Specific, what is the name that you would want to remove? Cool. And then we can iterate through our list of winners, and when we see the row that the user has asked for, we can make the if statements and say if name in row, and we can literally just get rid of it. So list of winners, list of winners dot remove, put the row. So let me go through this. So we got our 2D array, not 2D array, 2D list, and what we're going to do is we're going to make our while loop, and we're going to ask the user if they want to add or remove the item. Well, add, remove the name. Then we're going to put an if statement asking what the user inputted. So if it was add, then we'll see that the first letter is A, so we're going to assume that it's add. So we're going to take in 3 different datas, and we're going to put it into row. And with this row, we're going to append it into list of winners because we wanted to add something. But say if the user put remove r rem, then it will skip this part, and it will go to else, and it'll put name equals input was the name that you want to remove, and that's what the data you're going to get that you want to remove. And then what you will do is it will iterate through list of winners up here to find the row that we have been asked to find. So then we say if it's there, then just remove it, and then we carry on, and then we'll just ask the user if he wants to exit. If they want to exit, it'll exit, and then it'll print. If not, it'll go carry on back to the top. That's basically it. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's not too hard. So now if we wanted to run this, we can, let me put this up here. It would ask us if we want to add. I say we want to add. I want to add Cassian. My age is 69 and my score is 1000. No. I want to add one more. Say Corolla. And got 69 and they got 500. Cool, let me make sure you guys can see this. And then we can say no again. Actually, should we put yes? No, because then it will end the program. So what we want to do is we'll do no, and say we want to put remove. Cool. It will ask us what we want to remove. I want to remove Cassian. And then now, if we put yes, it will just output Corolla. So now that we've moved on from lists, we'll go to 2D dictionaries. And how we're going to do this, let's start with, let's say stats, and we'll make an empty dictionary. Cool. We can't actually make a 2D dictionary like we can with a 2D list. We kind of have to put stuff together to make a 2D dictionary. And how that's going to work is you get you make your dictionary, and then the key will be the name of the beast or whatever, or the name, and then the value will be another whole dictionary. So you have like a dictionary inside of the dictionary. Let me show you how that works, because it's a bit hard to explain and it might be easier if I just show you guys. So let's say we got a name, and we'll get our name again. Say name, and we'll say location, Then we'll have one more, let's say weapon, because you know these are very related to each other. And what we can say now is our three variables have been created. So now into the actual part of creating the 2D dictionary. We can say stat, and this is where we make the 2D dictionary. We're going to give it the name over here. So now we can say name, and we can say equals, and we'll give the actual second dictionary. So this is where if I want to name, it'll give me the name, and then it'll give each one of these. So say, how do I show you guys? We'll do location, and we'll do location, but without the what's it called? Without the speech marks, because this is just the key, and this is the value. The value is this. So now we can do also weapon, and we can do the dictionary syntax, and we can do weapon, and we can close them, and we're gonna say print in lowercase, print, and we say stats. And basically what we got here is we got our dictionary stats, our original one, and then we have our stats, which is this one here, with name. So now each key, basically each key value pair in the dictionary is now a key that accesses a related dictionary. So let me show you how it prints out, because that might be a lot easier to visualize. Did I not close something over here? Okay, so we need to actually put inputs here, because we need to input our values. And now when we press run, it will ask us for a name. I'll say Cassian. My location is England, Lord, and then our weapon is a axe. As you can see, we got, this is the first dictionary, and the second dictionary will be here. So we basically have our first one, which is the actual name of the dictionary, and then we have anything to do with that dictionary into the other dictionary. This is really good for, like, say you have a database of a person. You can make one of the dictionaries for that person, and inside that dictionary you can have the dictionary where it has everything about them, so phone number, address, everything. So that is what these two dictionaries can be used for. So lastly, what I want to show you guys is how to actually access individual stuff. So we'll say stats, and we'll go down, and let's say we got Cassian, and we got equal to a dictionary of, let's say, achieved. I'm gonna say score of 10, and we can say that we can close the things. I'm gonna say that he also got wrong. So wrong. I can say he got wrong 3. Don't know. We can put it in the context of he achieved a grade of 10, and he got 3 wrong. So 3 out of 10, I guess. Or you get the point. And let's say if we want to do one more, just so we can have a bit more data to use, we'll make another dictionary, and we'll say achieved. I will say 12, and we'll put wrong, so it actually adds up. We'll put 1. So now that we've got 2 data pieces here, we've got 2 dictionaries, pretty nice. Cassian, and we got Cassian, and we have Corolla, and we got Corolla. Pretty nice, not too shabby. And now what we can do is we can basically just say print, we can say stats, and here's where we get into the kind of hard part, but not hard part because it's not too hard. We do our square little brackets, and say if we want to just do, say, Cassian, I'm going to say start, and we say Cassian, and we're going to close it, and that should print out everything about me. So say I got print stat Cassian, it'll print achieve 10, wrong 3. Beautiful. Same thing if I were to put Corolla. Bang. Cool. So now say for example you just want to say achieve 12. You don't want to say wrong 1. So say if we're in the database we have multiple things and you only want to say one thing. We can do 2 separate indexes. So we would say Corolla. Say we want Corolla and we want wrong 1. So what you just say is pretty simple. You just say wrong because we're asking for we're looking at the key and then we'll get the outputted value. So we do that, we close it, we get print stat, and shebang, we got 1. Pretty nice. So for day 12 I want you guys to do a bingo. This is my challenge for today, and it's pretty much realistically gambling is for elderly. That's what bingo is. And let me talk you about how to go about this challenge. So I want you guys to generate a series of numbers between 0 and 90, and I want you guys to allocate each number to a place in a 2D list. These numbers should be in numerical order from left to right, and the numbers should not be repeated, so you can probably do an if statement. Cool. You can re-roll. The center square should not contain a number, so you guys should, instead of having a number, you guys should say bingo in the middle, and then when the program is run, it should pretty much print a bingo card. But the next step of this is actually making it work. So basically what you guys will have to do is carry on asking the user of that number, and then they will check the bingo card, and if the number is picked and it matches on the card, then they have that number. So you just put an X instead of that number, and then when that whole card has all X's, then the user has 1. That's pretty much what bingo is, and that's what I want you guys to do. So if you guys found this very helpful and you guys enjoyed it, I would love if you guys could like and subscribe and help me out. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later.